I'm vegan, and I don't think you should be vegan. And this video is going to trigger everyone, vegans and meat eaters alike. But I don't care because I'm just going to say what I think is true, what I've experienced, and give you some food for thought. When I was a kid, we were enforced vegetarians for a few years, and you know how that goes. You got to eat what your family eats. So, of course, I ceremoniously rebelled as soon as I could and became a religious, dedicated meat eater for almost the entirety of my adult life. I loved a good steak. I loved a nice slice of Christmas ham. I loved sushi. I couldn't think of my life without meat in it. When my vegan friends would say, come to the dark side, we have cookies, I would say, no, thank you. I like my cookies with butter and milk in them, and gluten too, if possible. I was a long shot. I was someone who equated meat with satiety, with feeling full. Everything else was just a side dish to the meat. So I knew I wouldn't have my taste buds satisfied. I knew I wouldn't feel full. And I also knew that it'd be kind of awkward if I ever became vegan, because I'd be that annoying vegan person that's demanding we go to a vegan restaurant. So I didn't want to be that unlikable person. It was just a fortress, a wall of impenetrable reasons that I knew I would never be that vegan person. Not to mention, to be honest, I just associated vegans with being sickly and pale and lacking muscle mass. So sure enough, cut to 2020, and gosh dang it, the vegan propaganda seeped through the pores because I'm sitting in front of Netflix and The Game Changers popped up, a documentary produced by an unlikely duo of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Chris Paul. And 30 minutes into the documentary, I paused it, dropped the remote, and said to myself, I guess I'm vegan now. And I didn't want to be. They just got me on the health stuff. Because I value feeling healthy. I was going through some health stuff at the time. I value feeling light and relaxed. And I said to myself, even 10% of the stuff they're saying in this documentary, this blatant propaganda documentary, is true. I owe it to myself to give this a shot. And I finished the documentary and I said, okay, I'll double down on these convictions because they're quite persuasive. So this was the point of friction. This is the point where almost everyone gives up when they consider switching their nutritional itinerary, because it's hard. You do things one way, you're eating meat at the center of every meal, and all of a sudden you're trying to mix it up and you're trying to not die. So you have to get some B12 or something. You Google it and you get the B12 and then you cross your fingers that you're not going to die because you're suddenly switching your diet. And then of course it's like, well, what am I going to cook? So this book fell out of the sky. It's frugal, 30-minute frugal vegan recipes or whatever. I found it on a bookshelf and I started ordering the ingredients. And then I thought, yeah, this isn't that expensive. I thought it was going to be more expensive. It's not. The book is frugal vegan recipes, so that helps. And then because I was committed to the 6 months, I started having fun with it. I was like, I want to make that. Oh, I want to make that. Ooh, I definitely want to make that. I started ordering the ingredients, started making them one at a time. I never really enjoyed cooking, but I was like, look, if I'm going to stick with this, I got to make this stuff taste good. So I started just enjoying the process of cooking. That started to get fun. I started eating some of the stuff I was making, and not toot my own horn, but I was like, this is really good. Like this actually tastes better than the meat dishes I was making. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I was pouring more love into what I was making, but it was actually tasting better. And it was, despite the thing I had in my head, satiating me. I was walking away from the meal saying, I feel full, but like the good kind of full, not the blah, heavy feeling of full that I often felt when I eat meat. And I thought if the health benefits were going to come, they were going to take months. They started coming in weeks. I started feeling lighter. That was the main thing. I was very light on my feet. I felt light in my body, in my viscera, in my organs. I don't know how to describe it. That's just how it felt. I was stronger. I was less prone to injury. I was having deeper sleeps. I was having more energy. It was obvious. I guess I'm just sensitive to my body in that way, but it felt extremely obvious extremely quickly. I thought maybe it was placebo at first, but then as I started checking it out, I was like, no, I feel a lot better. So once that 6-month trial window was up, I just started saying, this is just better in every way. And literally every excuse I had, that impenetrable wall of reasons I had to never even realistically consider being vegan, just evaporated into thin air. It was kind of an interesting experiment in cognitive dissonance, because I really believed all the reasons I had to never be vegan. And in retrospect, none of them were true. None of them. I was satiated and totally full. The meals tasted amazing, honestly, even better. It was less expensive to eat a plant-based diet. Nobody hated me for it as long as I wasn't rubbing it in their face. I was healthier, lighter, stronger. It got to the point where I was like, yeah, I'm craving meat and sushi sometimes, but it doesn't make any sense to sacrifice the benefits by going back. So it's been 6 years after that 6-month experiment, and I have no desire to go back. I want to stay in the vegan, plant-based lifestyle. Now, let's call out vegans and meat eaters alike. It's going to trigger everybody, but I warned you. Okay, so first off, yes, there's places in the world where you can't eat plant-based, or it's extremely difficult to, and there's people who genuinely will have health issues if they eat exclusively plant-based. But the reason most meat eaters don't want to switch to veganism, and I would know from experience, is like 2 or 3 main reasons. One it tastes good. 2, there's a basic cognitive dissonance for most people because the way it's framed is you should switch to veganism for your health, for the ethics, for the environment, and if you don't do it, you're a bad person. So it brings up guilt and shame for people, and it makes them think, well, if I'm doing this, then me and my fathers and my forefathers have all been bad people, and they can't cope with those emotions coming up. They can't square that circle, and so they go, everybody does it. Everybody's always done it. Don't tell me what to do. Which is fair enough from a human nature knee-jerk emotional response standpoint. And 3, because it brings up basic friction in people, because you got to switch over and figure out this logistical stuff if you're going to eat plant-based, and it's daunting because you already have the lifestyle you have and you're overwhelmed and there's all this stuff going on in your life and the world, and now you got to switch over to a plant-based diet and it's just too dang much. So I'm just going to like not look at that and just keep doing what I'm doing because I got to keep myself alive with this chicken, damn it. And now the vegans, ooh, I'm coming for you too. I'm going to roast you like a toasty stick of tofu. Okay. So vegans are just as prone to human nature as everybody else. So as soon as you become vegan, even if you don't think this consciously, subconsciously it starts to creep in. You start to get on your high horse and think, ooh, I'm just a little bit better than everybody else because I'm a little bit more ethical. I'm a little bit more connected to the environment. I'm a little bit more compassionate. And that comes through, especially in any conversations you might have about veganism with non-vegans. And non-vegans feel that. And they go, I'm good. I don't like this energy. You're not better than me. And frankly, they're warranted in feeling that way, because think about any other behavioral change. If somebody came at you saying you should do this, and there was that subtle energy of shaming or guilting you, even if it was subtle, you would feel it and you would resist because you don't want to be told what to do. You don't want to be told that you're doing something wrong and you have to change, not from a subtly judgmental place at least. So if your goal is behavioral change, look at what actually changes that. A lot of the time it's just leading by example or maybe sharing some straight up facts, but it's not tooting your own horn. It's not showing off how ethical you are. It's actually inspiring change instead of guilting and shaming it out of people, because that type of change doesn't stick. If you want change to stick, it generally happens from just connecting, just sharing, just educating, but the energy is key. And now for the most embarrassing admission of the video. Yes, I switched to a plant-based diet for selfish reasons because I wanted to feel healthier. I didn't do it for the animals. Only now that I'm on my high horse, pun intended, I guess, do I feel like I can observe the ethical components of veganism. It seems obvious to me now that all those animals that are getting killed don't want to get killed, and we just don't have an affiliation with them the same way that we do with cats and dogs. And so we go, they're food. We objectify them. And so we have no problem turning a blind eye. But in reality, those are animals who are conscious and sentient and don't particularly want to get slaughtered. And you could say, yeah, well, there's humane ways of killing them. Da, da, da. That's like saying I have a dog, and I deeply love and respect the dog, but after a year, he's really tender, so I got to kick him off a cliff. That doesn't make any sense. But he's cute. So we don't do that. But with other animals, we're like, yeah, but they're tasty. So we are going to do that. It doesn't really add up. On a spiritual level, on an energetic level, it doesn't really feel right. It doesn't really add up. Once you've made the switch, it's easier to acknowledge that. But when you haven't made that switch, you're just eating the meat and you're like, yeah, it's good. Yeah, I don't want to feel guilty about this, so I'm not even going to look at the reality of it. And I don't know what to say about that. I mean, in 100 years, I think we'll look back and be like, yeah, we could have gone plant-based sooner, and we didn't really need to eat that meat, and it was kind of selfish of us to murder all those animals just because they were tasty and it was convenient. So I know that's awkward to say for a lot of people because they don't want to acknowledge that, and it's controversial, but I think it's true, so I'm saying it. But yes, I also realize the ludicrous irony and hypocrisy of the fact that I switched for health reasons and only now am I aware of the ethics. But that's just how it shook out in terms of the timeline. I don't know what to tell you. Also, I'm not even a real vegan because I eat honey, and little known fact, but they actually strangle bees to make honey. So it's really unfortunate that I have to consume that honey, but it's just really delicious. And that's a joke, by the way. But yeah, I do eat honey. Now, like I said, I don't think you should be vegan. I'm not interested in guilting or shaming you into being vegan. If you feel inspired to switch to plant-based for any of the aforementioned reasons, try it for 2 months, try it for 6 months, try it for a runway of time that you can commit to, that you think you'll see the types of results that you might potentially benefit from, that you think would resonate with you. That's all. I would love to hear your thoughts.